Hi guys, how you going? It's Campbell here from Autodidactic channel, and today I have a pretty cool video. This is something I've really just come across in the last couple of days, and the video is called World Fair in Melbourne, Australia, History Reset. And it wasn't an actual World Fair. It was called the Melbourne Exhibition, but this is actually a shot from the inside of the Melbourne Exhibition Centre, and as you can see, it's just very, very reminiscent of all the world fairs that we see around the world. And I'll also go in. It was actually, whatever you call rated or whatever by the society that ran the world fairs. So yes, World Fair exhibition in Melbourne, Australia, guys. Stay tuned.
Open up your mind and let me step inside.
Here we go. We're at the Melbourne International Exhibition 1880 on Wikipedia. And as we'll see here, the Melbourne International Exhibition is the 8th World's Fair. So it was, officially recognised by the Bureau International des Expositions, the BIE, and the first official World's Fair in the Southern Hemisphere. So there you go. It was actually an official World's Fair, guys. Now, this is all there is. There's nothing here on this page about it. This is all about other world's fairs and recognitions, blah, blah, blah. These are just references. So this is all we've got. Okay, so this just talks about, after being granted self-governance in Victoria, New South Wales, blah, 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 they started to focus on the outside world, and proposals were made for organising an exhibition modelled on the great exhibitions of Europe, with an aim to promote commerce and industry, along with art, science and education. Melbourne started preparations in 1879 and filed a plan to Parliament. Okay, it just talks about how they had a rival with Sydney, and basically Sydney had one the year before, and then Melbourne had one, but I just wanted to show you there, Melbourne started preparations in 1879, okay? And that's just preparations, that's for, preparations, planning for the building. And then we get this, the Melbourne International Exhibition was held from October 1st, 1880. Okay, so Melbourne started preparations in 1879 and it was completed by October 1880. So, I mean, if that was the 1st of January, what have we got there? We've got 22 months to build what they built for the exhibition centre. This is just the organisation. My computer will load. So this is just, the Melbourne Centennial. So it was reused, this building was reused. So constructed in 1880, was extended and reused for the central exhibition focused on Australia itself and emphasised music. And this was for the celebration of European settlement, 100 years since 1788. So they had a centenary, and this is what we get for the centenary, guys. I'm not kidding you. That's it. That's it. That's the Wikipedia page for Melbourne Centennial Exhibition. That is it. I just found that hilarious. Okay, so they're telling us it was designed by Joseph Reed, and this guy was the architect of Reed and Barnes Architecture, who also designed the Melbourne Town Hall and the State Library of Victoria. So he was a pretty busy guy who he did some pretty cool architecture. I really don't think that's true. And what have we got here? Sorry, my computer's being very slow. Okay, Melbourne International Exhibition 1880. Now, this is the page for the Melbourne Exhibition, and as we see, it covered 25 acres. Start date was 1880. They're telling us it was 1.3 million visitors went there, And if we come down the page, this is an interesting shot with all the artwork. I mean, where did all this art come from? Sorry guys, my computer's being a bit bingy. Yeah, like look at all this art. You know, look at the frames and stuff. Okay, now this is 100 years. This is what? This is actually international. So this is less than 100 years after Australia was founded. 92 years. But look at this artwork, European artwork. What did they do? Just ship it in? Did they? Interesting pictures. And it just sort of goes through. We've got some photos there. This is the main picture, built in under 22 months, guys. But within 2 years of Australia being colonised. But again, this is a public page that they've put up, and that's all we get. 3 photos, 4 photos, and a little bit of text. So there's not much on this, guys. Couldn't find anything to do with plans or anything apart from the guy they said designed it. There's no plans, there's no building photos. There is one photo I'll show you. So let's get into the photos. Okay, this is the interior, and as you can see, guys, this is just, this looks like it's a building from the World Fairs, doesn't it? The architecture there. Look at the, it's all the same. These big swinging buttress things, curved roofs, and mammoth, just huge. Look at the size of this thing. And then we've just got all these exhibitions. All these people just turn out to see exhibitions. So what they're saying, they're seeing technology that was, from the old world being sort of reintroduced under the guise of the new world rulers. And is that what that is? Is that what this was all about? They got the tech, and all these exhibitions were about, well, look, it's our tech. Here's another shot. And this is, look at the it just looks like a shop selling statues or something, statuettes. It's very strange. Not any sort of wonder tech or anything you would expect to see. Oh, that's the wrong photo. This is just an enlargement of what we saw before, but again, and you can see up here, commerce, agriculture, engineering. These were all the different things that they were exhibiting. But look at the size of this hall. And this is it. This is just a drawing, but look at that thing. 22 months, guys. Built. Look at that dome. This is just so classic, and it's just like the castles we see everywhere. And this architecture is in all the world's fairs, all the steeples, all the antennas. And how did they build it? Back then there was no machinery to talk of any, substance. They didn't have cars. They had horse and buggies. Most of the roads still weren't paved. They were still covered. This is a photo of it in the 1800s, late 1800s. Just look at the size of that arch. That's like 3 stories. What's that for? Why do this architecture? Look at it. And it's just so reminiscent of all the other sort of World Fair stuff you see. Now look at this one. Look at all the people now. I'm pretty much thinking there weren't that many people there. Look at that. That's just kind of silly. But it's a drawing, and I think this is just sort of to sort of say, oh look, yeah, no, lots and lots of people saw it. It's real. It was an exhibition. But there's no proof. You saw the Wikipedia pages, and after searching that, that's it. All the gov sites are the same. They've got less on them. This is just stolen architecture as far as I can see. This is unfortunately a very small image, but it is a good sort of shot. This is of the 1880 exhibition. Got people walking around, as you can see, mud, dirt roads. All these trees, they're very new. They've been planted out like there was nothing there before they did this. 100 years after colonisation, they've cut down all the forests already. And look at this, I mean, come on. The Melbourne International Exhibition underneath the dome. Ooh, underneath the dome. From the Australian Town and Country Journals, 14th of August 1880. And I mean, look at the size of the people, guys. I mean, that's a guy there, that's a person, and is that like a doorway? It's some kind of thing. But I mean, it's just tiny. Look at these archways. They're like sort of double archways almost, aren't they? You know, that's lower and it goes through, and then we've got this amazing dome. And everything is just so ornate, like they all are, you know, the pillars here. This is a drawing of the actual whole site. Now this is in Victoria, in Carlton, and as you can see, there's, at least in this drawing, there's nothing around, just mud. You know, we've got nice statues here, we've got the gardens, and we've got this mammoth building with this huge dome, and then look behind it, look how big this is. Look at this central building that goes off. We've got all these, it's huge. And this was all built, guys, in Australia, 92 years after they landed on a barren continent, so we're told, apart from the natives who were told, you know, built nothing of substance. But yeah, they could build this, horse and buggies. I mean, we could not build this today, guys. Look at that thing. This is another internal shot. Probably a drawing by the looks of it, and especially by the looks of the crowds. I mean, they look like they've just been drawn in. I don't think that many, you know, Victoria in 1880. I mean, we're talking, you know, pretty much gold rush days, but, you know, suddenly there's all these, you know, sort of rich, sort of gentry people, and they just, you know, walking around looking at exhibitions. Where, you know, really, where do they all come from? I mean, back then, 1880s, just to get to Australia, if you weren't here, it took, looking at, you know, a couple of months at sea at least. And there definitely weren't that many, you know, well-to-do people. What did it say? 1.3 million people. I'm not sure what the population of Australia was at 1880. I should have looked it up. I'm pretty sure we hit 1 million population after 1900, though. I'll have to check that. But yeah, all the flags, you know, that's all. Yeah, no, you all belong to countries now, guys. You all belong to countries. Look at our tech. This is our tech. This is the building we magically built in 22 months. And guys, it's still standing. So this is it, the Melbourne Exhibition Centre. And I mean, come on. Look at that. And look at the size of these people. I mean, we could not build this today, guys. Sorry, this picture's a bit small. That's just an external shot of it. I mean, look at this massive, massive arching doorway. I mean, that's obviously over-exaggerated just for artistic, you know, endorsement or whatever, but because it looks like there's a couple of stories here, but it's still a very big building. It's huge, very tall. Sorry, I didn't realise this was so small either. Just an interior shot. So they still hold exhibitions there, and this is, you know, this is the same thing. You know, people just go in and look at stuff, and obviously today, you know, Melbourne is a city of sort of 2-3 million people, so they can pull crowds, but this isn't anything like in those drawings. But again, just look at that architecture. It's just, you know, I mean, we've built nothing like this since, put it that way. I mean, we just haven't. Another shot. I mean, look at that. And everything is just so symmetrical. It's like everything in all of these buildings, everything is so symmetrical. It's just the same stuff you see everywhere, the same types of designs. When you see these kind of window-looking paintings just everywhere, all over the world. Another shot of the dome today. I mean, look at all this artwork. And look at the size of people. I mean, you can even see these people here, and there's a doorway. I mean, you can imagine if they were up next to it, they might be, here somewhere. It's very big. Look at that. I mean, really, they tell us this was built in 22 months, guys. Less than 100 years after English people settled, colonised Australia with convicts. They built this in 22 months max. And not just built it, they decorated it. They did it all. Another shot of another wing. I think this is that big long stretching thing we saw coming off the back. As you can see, it's huge. This is the second story, and you can see the size of the people there. They're minuscule. Another shot from the exterior. As you can see the gate, the doorway here with all this work. Built for an exhibition, guys. And that is it. So, nice quick video. I hope you enjoyed that. So yeah, that was the World's Fair in Melbourne, and I seriously, I've grown up in Australia. I've lived here my whole life, and I have never heard of that. I actually lived in Melbourne for 5 years when I was growing up. Never heard anything about it. Nothing. And as you saw on the Wikipedia pages, there's nothing. So very interesting, but very, very reminiscent of all the World's Fairs that we see around the world. So what was going on with these World's Fairs is the question. Was it the reintroduction of, look, we've found all this tech that we've got working, and look how clever we are, and we're now your rulers, and look at all these countries. Yes, countries exist, and you're all a member of a country. Is this what was going on? Was it that, part of the reset, the re-indoctrination? Because that's kind of the feel I'm getting. So anyway, guys, post a comment. Let me hear your thoughts. If you've got any more info on this, please let me know, because seriously, I couldn't find much at all. So yeah, please like, subscribe, and share if you like the content. And as always, guys, self-education is the way forward. So be autodidactic in your life, and thanks for watching. Have an amazing day, and I will see you on the next upload. Bye for now.